Good morning, students. Let us continue with the lesson Physical Features of India. In the previous video, we had learnt about the Himalayas. In today's video, we are going to learn about the Northern Plains. Okay, let's start. The Northern Plain. Rivers played a major role in its formation. It is very clear, students. Rivers have played a very important role in the formation of the Northern Plain. Rivers like the Indus, the Ganga, the Brahmaputra along with their tributaries are responsible for the formation of Northern Plain. What do you mean by tributary? You had learnt earlier also, right? Tributary is a small river that joins the main river. So here it is very clear that the Indus, the Ganga and the river Brahmaputra along with their tributaries are responsible for the formation of the Northern Plain. Here you can see the image also, students. You can see river Indus and its tributaries, river Ganga and its tributaries, as well as river Brahmaputra and its tributaries. So these rivers are responsible for the formation of Northern Plain. The Northern Plains were formed due to the deposition of alluvium in the foothills of Himalayas brought by the rivers. So it is very clear, students, how were the Northern Plains formed? Yes, they were formed due to the deposition of alluvium in the foothills of Himalayas brought by the rivers. Northern Plains spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometer. So the area covered by the Northern Plain is 7 lakh square kilometer. It is 2400 kilometer long. If you have a look at this map, you will understand it is 2400 kilometer long. You need to remember this figure. And 240 kilometer to 320 kilometer broad. Okay, so its width is 240 kilometer to 320 kilometer. Northern Plain is densely populated physiographic division. Students, do you know why it is densely populated? Yes, because of the fertile soil. Okay, and it is very much favorable for the cultivation of crops. So this area, that is Northern Plain, is densely populated physiographic division. I hope it is clear. Students, here in this image you can see the deposits of alluvium, okay, near the foothills of Himalayas. The rivers carry the alluvium along with them and they deposit near the foothills of Himalayas. Students, if I ask you the question, okay, why Northern Plains are suitable for agriculture, what will you say? Yes, you will say, Miss, Northern Plains, okay, are very much fertile. They have got fertile soil, abundance of water because many rivers flow here, as well as they have got favorable climate which is suitable for agriculture. Yes, students, you are correct. We have fertile soil, abundance of water, favorable climate which is suitable for agriculture. Have a look. Fertile soil, abundance of water which is suitable for agriculture. Various geographical features as riverine islands, doabs and distributaries are found in Northern Plains. Now you will ask me, what is riverine islands, doabs and distributaries? I will explain you. Now first let us learn about the riverine islands. The rivers coming from northern mountains. Okay, the rivers flowing from the northern mountains are involved in depositional work. They deposit. What do they deposit? Yes, they deposit the sediments in the lower course. What do you mean by the lower course? Lower course means the river part near its mouth. Okay, due to gentle slope. Now in the lower course, how is the slope? Yes, it is gentle. It is not steep. So because of gentle slope, the speed of the river decreases. The velocity of the river decreases and thus riverine islands are formed. You can see the image over here, students. see the island formed here? Okay, these are the deposits of the river. Majuli in the Brahmaputra river is the largest inhabited riverine island in the world. So Majuli, you can see the image here, is the largest riverine island in the world. Okay, it is in Brahmaputra river. So isn't it beautiful, students? So Majuli in the Brahmaputra river is the largest inhabited riverine island in the world. People stay over here. Due to deposit and of sediments in lower course, the river split into numerous channels leading to the formation of distributaries. Now you have understood riverine islands, right? Now you need to understand what you mean by distributaries. So what is distributary? Let us see. Look at this image, students. Due to deposit and of sediments in the lower course, the river split into numerous channels. Now have a look over here. Now this is the main river, for example. Okay, due to the deposits of the sediments, what happens? It is distributed, isn't it? And these are called the distributaries. I hope it is clear. Once again, due to deposit and of sediments in lower course, the river splits into numerous channels leading to the formation of distributaries. You can see the river getting split into numerous channels, isn't it? Now let us learn about Doab. Now Doab, the word itself tells do and ab. Do is a Hindi word, right, which means two. Ab means water. So land between the two rivers is known as Doab. Am I clear, students? Land between the two rivers is known as Doab. Doab is made up of two words. Do means two and Ab means water. Okay. Example, Ganga, Yamuna, Doab. You can have a look over here, students. See, these are the two rivers and the land between the two rivers is said to be Doab. Okay. Here also you can see the land between the river Ganga and the river Yamuna. So between this portion, okay, the land between these two rivers is said to be Doab. I hope it is clear, students. Now let us see the division of Northern Plains. Northern Plain is broadly divided into three sections. How many sections, students? Three. The Punjab Plains, the Ganga Plain and the Brahmaputra Plain. Have a look over here, students. How are the plains divided? Yes, they are divided into Punjab Plains. They are divided into Punjab Plains, Ganga Plains and Brahmaputra Plains. Here in this map you can see this portion is the Punjab Plain, this is the Ganga Plain and this part is the Brahmaputra Plain. Okay. Now first let us start with the Punjab Plain. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab Plains. So you can see here, students, on this map you can see the western part of the northern plain is the Punjab Plain. The larger part of this plain lies in Pakistan. It is continuous. Okay. So the larger part of this plain lies in Pakistan and the remaining part lies in our country, that is India. The Indus and its tributaries, the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas and the Satluj originate in the Himalayas. You can have a look over here, students. Can you see the river Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj? This section is dominated by Dwabs. Example, the word Punjab itself is made up of two words, isn't it? Panch, which means 5, and Ab means water. So land between the 5 rivers. Have a look over here, students. Can you see the image? So here you can see the river Indus. Okay, its tributaries Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj, right? And the shaded portion is the land. So you can see the land between the 5 rivers. Okay. Once again, this section is dominated by Dwabs. Example, the word Punjab itself is made up of two words. Panch means 5 and Ab means water. So the land between the 5 rivers. We have seen this, right? Now let's talk about the Ganga plains. The Ganga plains extends between Ghaggar and Tista. Have a look over here, students. Here you can see the Ghaggar and here is the Tista. So between Ghaggar and river Tista lies the Ganga plain. Okay. It spreads over the state of Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, partly in Jharkhand and West Bengal. Now let us learn about the Brahmaputra plain. Brahmaputra plain is to the east of the Ganga plain. Isn't it, students? We saw first the Punjab plain, isn't it? Then we have the Ganga plain, and towards the east of Ganga we have the Brahmaputra plain. I hope it is clear. So to the east of the Ganga plains we have Brahmaputra plain. It covers most of the Assam and states of northeast. Have a look over here, students. It is very clear. It is covering the portion or the area of northeastern part of our country. It is drained by Brahmaputra river. Brahmaputra river flows in this area. Now let us learn about the Bhabar, Terai, Bhangar and Khadar. Now you will ask us, what are these? I'll explain to you. Apart from the division on the basis of area, northern plains can also be divided on the basis of diverse relief features. So just now we had seen the division of the northern plain on the basis of area, right? We had seen the Punjab plain, isn't it? 1 minute. Isn't it? We have seen the Punjab plain, we have seen the Ganga plains as well as the Brahmaputra plains. Now we are going to learn about the northern plains, its division on the basis of diverse relief features. Okay. Northern plains divided into 4 regions on the basis of relief features. They are Bhabar, Terai, Bhangar and Khadar. Once again, Bhabar, Terai, Bhangar and Khadar. Now let us try to understand this. Here is the image you can see of Bhabar, Terai, Bhangar and Khadar. Students, have a look at this image. Now these are Himalayan mountains, right? The foothills of Himalayas, you can see some pebbles. So rivers not only carry sediments, not only carry fine alluvial soil, they also carry the pebbles, parts of the mountains. So here Bhabar is formed. Okay. And below Bhabar, that is to the south of Bhabar, we have Terai. and here you can see Bangar, and this portion is Khadar. Okay, we will learn in detail now. First we will start with Bhabar. Belt of about 8 to 16 km in width, lying parallel to the slopes of the Shivaliks. I will explain you, students. Now suppose these are the Shivaliks mountains. Okay, so parallel to these mountains we have the Bhabar. Okay, they form the belt of about 8 to 16 km in width, and they lie parallel to the slopes of the Shivaliks. Is that clear, students? The Bhabar area is comprised of pebbles which are brought down by rivers. Here in this image you can see the pebbles here, okay, which is deposited by the rivers as they flow along the Himalayas. I hope it is clear. The Bhabar area is comprised of pebbles which are brought down by rivers. You can see the image here. Can you see the pebbles here? Yes, the pebbles are brought by the rivers. Streams disappear in the Bhabar belt. Can you see the image here, students? Yes, streams disappear in the Bhabar belt. Now, let us learn about Terai. To the south of the Bhabar belt lies Terai region. So here it is very clear. To the south of Bhabar we have the Terai. Okay, this part. The wet, swampy and marshy region where the streams and rivers re-emerge. So we have seen that the streams disappear in the Bhabar area, right? So in the Terai region they re-emerge. Okay, they are seen. And this area, this Terai region is wet and swampy. It is marshy. Have a look at this image, students. Yes. This region is thickly forested, okay, and full of wildlife. So Terai region is thickly forested and full of wildlife. Over the period of time, forests have been cleared. And why are the forests cleared? To create agricultural land. For whom? For the migrants from Pakistan after the partition. So it is very clear, students. Over the period of time, forests have been cleared to create agricultural land and to settle migrants from Pakistan after the partition. Bhangar comprises of older alluvium. By older alluvium, they got deposited long back. They are not newly formed. Okay. It lies above the floodplains of the river and presents a terrace-like feature. First, you must understand what is floodplains. Floodplain is a flat or nearly flat land which is adjacent to a river that experiences occasional flooding. Have a look over here, students. You will understand. Here this area is said to be floodplain. This flat land is adjacent to the river. Okay, and this area, that is a floodplain area, experiences occasional flooding. I hope it is clear, students. The soil in this region contains calcareous deposits, that is kankar, or the calcium carbonate. This is relatively less fertile. So have a look of calcareous deposits here. Okay. And this area, okay, which area? The Bhangar area, this part. Okay, they are relatively less fertile. They are not very much fertile. Now let us learn about the Khadar. Have a look over here, students. You can see in this image, this area. Yes, it is said to be Khadar. Let us learn more about Khadar. It comprises of new and young alluvium. Okay, they are renewed almost every year. Due to floods, they are renewed almost every year, and they are very fertile, very much favorable for agriculture. Ideal for agriculture. Therefore, intensive agriculture is performed over Bhangar soil. Okay, so you get good yield when the cultivation is done in the Bhangar soil. So I hope it is clear. Once again, new and young alluvium, they are renewed almost every year due to floods. They are very fertile, ideal for agriculture. Hence, intensive agriculture is performed over Bhangar soil. We will revise now whatever we have learned just now. We have learnt about the Bhabar, the Terai, the Bhangar, as well as the Khadar. I hope it is clear. Now let's do the recap. Today in this video we have learnt about riverine islands, the division of northern plain. We have learnt about the Punjab plain, the Ganga plain and Brahmaputra plain. We have also learnt about the division of northern plains on the basis of relief features like Bhabar, Terai, Bhangar and Khadar. I hope you all have understood the topics covered today. The remaining topics we will be covering in the next video. Till then, bye and take care.